This is 1-6, solving for a variable. So this is mostly going to focus on literal equations. Literal equations are just equations that have several variables in it, and we're going to be solving for one of those variables. So let's take a look at example 1. The largest yo-yo in the world is 32.7 feet in circumference. The formula for the circumference of a circle is C equals 2 pi r, where C represents circumference and r represents radius. Solve the formula for r. So we're using the formula, or the literal equation, C equals 2 pi r, and we're solving for this r right here. So I'm trying to isolate r. So the way that I do that is I look at what is on the side of the equal sign with r. Well, I have 2 pi there right now. How do I get rid of a 2 times pi that's being multiplied by r? Well, to get rid of multiplication, we use the inverse operation. We divide. Divide by 2 pi. 2 pi divided by 2 pi is 1. That's what we wanted, so we have 1r is equal to c over 2 pi. This is actually the same thing as if we had like 10 equals 5r, and we were solving for r. Well, to get r by itself, we would divide by 5 because it's being multiplied. So it's really the same step. Okay, and then it says here, find the radius of the yo-yo. Well, the radius, remember, is going to be equal to c over 2 pi, because that's what we just solved. And the circumference is 32.7 feet divided by 2 pi. So r is about 5 point, doesn't say the round, so 5.21 approximately. I'm just going to round to the hundredths if it doesn't say. Feet. Okay, here they give me an equation. It says solve for m. So what that means is that I'm going to be looking to get m by itself right here. I'm going to put the 4m together for now. So that's what I'm solving for. So when I look at the 4m, I know that I need to get rid of the 4 eventually and the minus 3n. Well, I have to get rid of the subtraction first. So I'm going to add 3n to both sides. So 4m equals, well, 8 plus 3n are not like terms, so I just write it as 8 plus 3n. And my last step to get m by itself, to isolate that, would be to multiply or divide. So if it's multiplication, then I'm going to divide everything by 4. So m equals 8 plus 3n all over 4. So it's just, you're just isolating the variable. Here we have 15 equals 3n plus 6p. We're solving for n. So I'm solving for n right here. 3n is what's there right now. So it's on the right side of the equal sign. So I need to get rid of this plus 6p. So I'm going to subtract 6p from both sides. I'm going to write that as 15 minus 6p is equal to 3n. Now to get that n by itself, the last step would be to multiply or divide. That's multiplication, so I'm going to divide everything by 3. Now notice that I can actually divide 15 and 6 and 3. I can simplify all those. All of those are divisible by 3, so I'm going to do that. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 6 divided by 3 is 2, with the p there from before. And 3 divided by 3 is 1, but I don't need over 1. So the best answer would be the 5 minus 2p equals n. Okay, example C, we're going to solve for k. So here's my k. But the first thing I need to do is eliminate this fraction before I can do anything else. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5 to get rid of that. So I have k minus 2 equals 55j. Now to officially get k by itself, I have to get rid of that minus 2. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So I'm using inverse operations to isolate the variable that I'm supposed to be isolating, which in this case is k. Okay, in example D, it's asking me to solve for the letter t. So t is right here. Right now it's being multiplied to this whole r plus 4. So I'm just going to divide everything by r plus 4. And that's my answer. 28 over r plus 4 is equal to t. Okay, next, example E. I'm solving for x, which is on both sides. You're not really going to learn this until the end of the year, but I'm going to go for it anyway. So basically the x's need to get to the same side. So let's start there. So we do the opposite to move that over. So we have 3x minus xz plus 2y is equal to 5. Then I need to move the 2y out of the way because it doesn't have an x. So let's get that out of there. So I subtract 2y from both sides. 3x minus xz is equal to 5 minus 2y. I wouldn't worry about this one as much because this is where things get a little bit, it's not till chapter 7 that we learn this. So basically, it's like distributive property backwards. This x had been multiplied to both terms, so I'm going to take that out. I'm going to put it outside of it. That leaves me with 3 minus z is equal to 5 minus 2y. And now to get that x by itself, we can divide everything by 3 minus z. That canceled, so this is my final answer. So if you don't understand this one, don't worry about it. You won't be assessed on this yet. Okay, and F is a little bit more doable. So I have to get the d's together on the same side, because that's what we're solving for. So let's move that over. So 1d minus 3d is negative 2d plus 5c equals negative 1. Now to get this d by itself, I'm going to move 5c, so minus 5c from both sides. Negative 2d equals negative 1 minus 5c. And the last step would be to divide everything by negative 2. So d equals, I'm seeing a lot of negatives here. I can actually just, to simplify, I can divide everything by negative 1. And so it makes everything positive. So 1 plus 5c all over 2.